I'm going to start with something that might make you a little uncomfortable. And if your first instinct is to cross your arms and say, "That's not me," just pause for a second. Just bear with me. If you feel yourself getting defensive 3 minutes from now, or at the end when I tell you the hard part, it's okay. Just notice it. Don't push it away. Ask yourself why that reaction came up, because I promise you, if you actually stay with me for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to explain something that will quite literally rewire how you see every single relationship you've ever had. Everyone. You keep making lists. Be honest. You've got the standards list in your phone notes or in your head. He has to be ambitious. She has to be emotionally intelligent, must have a good job, good communication, good family values, 6 feet tall or six figures or whatever your version of that is. And then somebody shows up who checks every single box on paper and you feel nothing. Or worse, you feel bored. But then somebody else walks in, doesn't check half the boxes, maybe none of them, and suddenly you're obsessed. You're hooked. You're lying awake at night wondering why they haven't texted back. And you sit there thinking, why do I keep choosing the wrong people? Why am I so bad at this? Here's the thing. You're not bad at choosing people. You're not unlucky. You don't have a broken picker. That narrative you keep replaying, it's not true. And honestly, it's unfair to you. I'm going to explain something that's going to blow your mind, because it blew mine when I first really understood it. You don't attract love from your standards. Say that again. You don't attract love from your standards. You attract love from your wounds. I know that sounds harsh, but stick with me here. I've studied this extensively. Dr. Tara Schwartz's work has been huge for me in understanding this. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Most people think attraction is about chemistry. That spark, that feeling of, I don't know what it is, it just feels right. But attraction isn't magic. Attraction is pattern recognition. Your brain and your nervous system are scanning every single person you meet for one thing: familiarity, not health, not safety, not what's good for you, familiar. And here's the part people hear, nod along to, and still don't fully get. Familiar doesn't mean good. Familiar just means your body knows how to survive it. Let me take you back, way back, before you had words for love, before you could analyze or reason or make lists of green flags, back when you were just a kid, learning what love felt like from the people around you. Your parents, your caregivers, even those early friendships and crushes. They were teaching you something every single day. They were building your blueprint. So let me ask you something real quick. Did you have to earn love growing up? Was affection only there when you behaved well, got good grades, performed? Or was love chaotic, unpredictable? Did you walk on eggshells, never knowing if today mom would be happy or screaming? Or maybe you felt unseen, emotionally overlooked, like you had to compete for attention, for warmth, for any scrap of connection. Whatever love felt like back then, calm or chaotic, conditional or cold, distant or dramatic, that became your nervous system's definition of love. That became familiar. And now, as an adult, your body is still running that same blueprint without you even realizing it. I had a client once. Let's call her Sarah. Gorgeous, successful, put-together woman. She kept dating men who were emotionally unavailable. One was married, one lived in another country. One would ghost her for weeks, then come back with roses. She'd sit in my office and say, "Why do I keep doing this? I know better." And she did know better, but her nervous system didn't. Because Sarah grew up with a father who was only present 30% of the time. When he showed up, it was magical. But most of the time, she was waiting, wondering, hoping. So when an unavailable man showed up, her body said, "Oh, I know this feeling. This is love." Now let's talk about why this feels so addictive. Because there's actual brain chemistry behind this. When somebody's inconsistent, hot one day, cold the next, your brain releases dopamine. Same mechanism as gambling. Same mechanism as addiction. You don't get dopamine from certainty. You get it from anticipation, from not knowing, from waiting and wondering and hoping. So when they finally text back after 3 days of silence, dopamine hit. When they give you just enough attention to keep you hooked, then pull away, dopamine hit. Your body doesn't know the difference between excitement and anxiety. It just knows arousal. That racing heart, that obsession, that constant thinking about them, that is not passion. That is your nervous system being dysregulated, and you're calling it chemistry. I worked with another client, James. He came to me because he kept losing interest in perfectly good women. They were kind, consistent, available, and he'd feel nothing. But the moment a woman was distant, dismissive, hard to read, he was obsessed. He said to me once, I just want that spark, that fire. And I had to tell him, James, that fire you're chasing, it's not intimacy, it's intensity. And intensity comes from wounds. Intimacy feels steady. Intimacy feels calm. Intimacy doesn't burn you, it holds you. Here's where it gets really uncomfortable. When you start healing, when you actually start doing the work, healthy people are going to feel wrong. They're going to feel boring. They text back consistently, weird. They show up when they say they will, suspicious. They're emotionally available and clear about what they want. Something must be off, right? No, nothing's off. Your nervous system just doesn't recognize safety as love yet. I see this all the time. People finally meet someone stable, secure, healthy. And within 3 months, they've sabotaged it. They pick fights. They create distance. They lose interest. And they say, I don't know what happened. There was just no spark. But here's what was really happening. The calm felt threatening because calm was unfamiliar. And unfamiliar feels unsafe to a nervous system trained in chaos. I had a client, Maya, who finally started dating a man who was normal, reliable. He called when he said he would. He introduced her to his friends. He didn't play games. And Maya was miserable. She kept waiting for the other shoe to drop. She kept looking for signs that he'd leave, cheat, disappear. One day she said to me, I think I'm the problem because he's perfect, but I feel nothing. And I said, Maya, you don't feel nothing. You feel unfamiliar, and your body is confusing unfamiliar with wrong. So what do you actually do with this? Because I'm not here to just make you cry and leave you there. First thing, stop shaming yourself. These patterns, they kept you safe once. They were adaptive. The little kid who learned to walk on eggshells, that kid survived. The teenager who learned to perform for love, that teenager got through. But here's the thing. Survival patterns don't make good relationship choices. They just don't. Second thing, stop asking, why do I keep attracting broken people? Start asking, what part of me recognizes this as familiar? That question, that's where the gold is. That's where the healing starts. Because when you can sit with yourself and say, oh, I'm drawn to him because he's unpredictable, and unpredictability feels like home to me. Now you have power. Now you can choose differently. And here's the hard truth nobody wants to hear. You don't attract better partners by wanting better partners. You attract better partners by becoming safe within yourself. When your nervous system heals, your attraction recalibrates. Consistency starts to feel sexy. Clarity starts to feel attractive. Effort starts to feel normal. And the people who once had power over you, they don't even register anymore. I had a client once, after 2 years of work, she called me and said, I ran into my ex, the one who broke me. And I felt nothing, like genuinely nothing. Not hate, not anger, not longing, just nothing. And I said, that's not coldness. That's evolution. That's what happens when you heal. You don't avoid the people who once hurt you. You outgrow them. They become irrelevant. Not because you're bitter, but because your nervous system no longer recognizes chaos as connection. So next time you find yourself in that familiar pull towards someone who's inconsistent, unavailable, or just wrong for you, don't run from it. Go inward. Ask yourself, what part of me recognizes this? And what is it trying to teach me? Because when you finally get that answer, really get it, you get a second chance. At love, at yourself, at everything. Just trust me on that. If this hit home for you, I want you to do one thing today. Write down one pattern you keep repeating, just one. And underneath it, write, this kept me safe once, but it doesn't have to be my future. I'll see you in the next one.